Well, hello. How are we? Yeah. What's going on at Beard of Fascinations? And hold on, the chat's going too fast already. Lizard Lounge, what's up? Tara's in the house, what's up? Sacred Scales, what's up? Fear of Fascination, Parkour Geckos, what's up? Parkour Geckos. I tried the cricket feeder. It finally got here. My boxes took forever to get here. I tried the cricket feeder. I'm gonna hit you up. I got some thoughts about it. I loved it. I have thoughts. I have thoughts, good thoughts, and ways that I think we can make it better. Mostly the cup, which we already talked about at the show. But yeah, I finally got to use it. I was so excited to use it to feed off some crickets this week. What's going on, everybody? How are we doing? How long will we be on for? So we're going to be on for about an hour. So, what's up? What's up, everyone? Crestopia Sam, 101 Geckos. What's up? All right. So let's start it off today. We're going to talk about what we're doing here. What are we doing here? This is not my normal Palm Street auction, right? Can I pick your brain one day? We're trying to make a very cost-effective gecko rack. Yes, absolutely. And speaking of picking my brain, that's kind of what we're doing here. Yeah, I would love to talk about a cost-effective gecko rack. So what are we doing here? This is not my normal auction, right? I'm not going to sit here and sell you guys 50 geckos. In fact, I'm going to hardly sell you guys any geckos today. So this is episode 1 and what I'm calling the Altitude Exotics live chat auction. I'm going to do these regularly here on Palm Street. The idea is they're going to stick to about an hour in length, and each day we're going to have a topic. Today, we're just very basically talking about gecko diets. Nothing super in-depth, basic info. What diets I feed, why I feed them, what diets I like, what brands I like, what flavors I like, basic gecko diet info, educational content, and of course, I've got all the gecko diets. If you hit, which way do I got to point? Let me see. Is this way? No, this way. In the shop, somewhere over here, there's a shop button. All of these gecko diets, everything I'm going to show you and talk about, I have for sale. I'm only going to give you guys recommendations for stuff that I personally use. So it's all for sale in the shop. And of course, we're going to auction a few geckos along the way to have a little bit of fun. That's the idea. I want to do these regularly. Every 2 weeks, I hope to get it up to once a week. We're going to do one of these. And it's not always going to be straight educational. I have a huge list, a year's worth of educational topics I want to cover. How to ship geckos, how to feed geckos, how to sex geckos, how to breed, setting up enclosures, everything. I also want to do interviews with other breeders. I want to do games. I want to do interactive shows. I want to do live Q&As. I want to do showing off some of my geckos, my breeding groups, talking about how and why I put together breeding groups the way I did. I have all kinds of information, all kinds of ideas, and I want to do these regularly. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's my idea on how I'm going to be more active here on Palm Street. I love the interactive element that this gives us. We can chat, we can talk, we can hang out, we can spend time together. And I want to be able to do that without just constantly trying to push geckos down your throat that I'm trying to get you to buy. So that's kind of the setup. That's what we're doing here. That's what I'm going to be looking at going forward. What do you say we get into today? Let me check the chat. I shut down my iPad. I love a whole lot of people saying what's up to each other. Everybody knows Tara in the chat. Everyone knows Tara. Awesome. Will you post it to YouTube if we miss stuff? So here's my thought about that. I'm working with Palm Street. I'm trying to get Palm Street to create a channel here on Palm Street where I can have a channel similar to YouTube where once this live's over, instead of disappearing forever, it will just move to the channel where it will be rewatchable for people in the future. So if you like that idea, send Palm Street a message and tell them that, because I would love to set that up with them. I would also love to be able to download these lives, repost them on YouTube, cut up clips, repost them on social media. This is all things that we're working towards having happen here. So that's the idea. What's up, everybody's talk? Everybody loves Tara. I mean, I can't blame y'all. Our geckos are incredible. I picked up 3 Tara geckos at Flora Fauna. I'm super happy with. All right. An archive section would be nice. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I want a channel section where I can essentially use Palm Street the way I use YouTube, put educational content there, talk like this, have it evergreen so people can go back and watch it. I can refer you to it later if you got questions about geckos. That's the idea. All right, so I see a lot of questions in the chat. Let's get into this and Red Line Shipping's on. What's up, Robin? Let's get into this. We're going to talk gecko diets today. So first things first, I'm going to pin a product in the shop. So I pinned what I call my breeder mix. I'm going to show you what that is now. So I put together a few packages of Pangea diets the way I feed them to my geckos. This is what I call my breeder mix. If you'd like to pick one up, they're available here. Basically, it's 8 ounces of growth and breeding, 2 ounces of apricot, the fruit treat mix, and the papaya flavor, as well as 10 grams of bee pollen. What I do is mix all of this together in one bucket, shake it up, mix it good, and then that's my base breeding formula for breeders. I vary it even more than that, but I have several of these. I've got a breeder mix, I've got a picky eater mix, I've got an insect refuser mix for geckos that won't eat live insects, and I've got a juvie mix. So if you're looking for an easy starter package on where to feed your geckos and what to build a base diet off of, I put these together for you. They're available in the shop. I'm going to leave that breeder bundle pinned for now. I figured it's, peak breeding season right now. Let's leave that one up there. Okay, so first things first, let's talk gecko diets. So like I said, I want to recommend to you guys the stuff that I use personally for my own geckos. Why is Palm Street giving me pop-ups? I don't want pop-ups. I'm trying to talk to the people, Palm Street. So this is not to say that there aren't other good diets out there. This is not to say there's not other good brands and there's not other good flavors, but I'm going to tell you guys what I use. So the 4 brands that I feed to my own geckos: Repashy. I've fed Repashy diets since they were the only diet in existence, and I still feed Repashy as part of my regular rotation. Blue River diets. These guys are fairly new to the US. They just came over from the UK. I get a great feeding response with these. Blue River diets are in my rotation to feed to my geckos. Pangea, obviously. Almost everybody's heard of them. Pangea has great diets. They are a huge staple of my feeding groups as well. And the last one that I have fed is Lugardi. I like the Lugardi diets. I feed this to my geckos as well. Like I said, that's not to say that there aren't other good diets, other good brands, other foods that are good for your geckos, but this is what I feed to my geckos. Awesome. Yeah, a lot of people saying like mine won't eat this flavor or that flavor or any of that. That is one of my tips, is mixing flavors together. I will feed one flavor by itself. I'll feed one brand by itself. I'll mix 2 brands together, mix 2 flavors together. I'm a huge proponent in mixing things up for your geckos, having like a base that you build off of and then mix it up, give them different flavors, give them different looks, keep it interesting for them. So that's kind of the 4 brands that I both use and sell. They're the ones that work best for me. I'm only going to give you guys info that I use myself. So that is where we're going to start it. All right, next up, I want to get into, I'm not going to get super into like nutritional content, nutritional values, like calcium phosphate ratios, like all of this super in-depth stuff about how diets are built, because frankly, I'm not qualified to have that conversation with you. That's not something I've ever dug super deep into. It's not something I have a really high depth of knowledge on. So that's not going to be part of the conversation. But I do want to talk very basically about what I look for in a good diet, what I think makes a good diet, what I've noticed the geckos respond to, and go from there. But we're not just here talking. We're here to have fun too. So what do you say we do an auction? Do you guys want to do an auction? Have I tried Vitameal yet? I have not tried Vitameal yet, no. What flavor Blue River diet for starting off? I would do, so I'm going to go through my favorite flavors for every diet here in a minute. For the Blue River, I really like the Pineapple Crush, and they have a new dragon fruit out that I've done really well with as well. All right. What's up? Good to see everybody in here. All right, everybody. Vitameal with Pangea is great. Yeah, the Vitameal I'd like to try. I haven't yet, but I'm sure I've heard good things. If I do, it might end up making it into my permanent rotation as well. All right, guys. So before we get into talking more about diets, let's do an auction. You guys want to do a gecko auction? I got 5 geckos we're going to auction today. I'm going to kind of spread them throughout today's chat. Can we get that to your store? I see it's grayed out in your store. If you click on the shop button right here in the live, everything, I added all the products into there. You should be able to click on shop and open everything up. It should look like that. I just opened it up on my end. You should be able to pick basically everything up from there. So just hit that shop button over here on the side, and you should be able to pick up anything that you like. All right, 5 geckos. We should auction foods too. So I don't like auctioning foods. mostly because most of the foods are price controlled. They have like minimum price controlling from the manufacturers. So auctions to me are kind of silly because it's like even if the auction ends lower than that, I either have to refund you and not sell it, or risk getting in trouble with the manufacturers for selling it too low. And then if it obviously goes above the minimum price, that's fine. But yeah, I still want to auction foods. I would prefer to just auction the geckos if it were me. Only the breeder bundle is available. We have to pin all the items. Why do I have to pin all the items? Oh my goodness. This is frustrating with Palm Street. Okay, so I'm going to pin stuff as we talk about them. How's that sound? The breeder bundle is pinned. Let's pin. I have 70 something items in the store. I'm just going to start pinning stuff. Only breeder. All right, yeah, I get it now. I get it. Gotta pin everyone. How many buy now buttons are grace we can't buy? If that's intentional, awesome. Otherwise, you need to click shop, pin all listings. Shop. Is there a pin all listings button? Because that would be great. I asked Palm Street about that a while ago. Or do I just have to pin them all one by one? Can someone tell me? Do I have to pin them all one by one? You can pin before it starts, I believe. So before, I would not add the geckos into the live shop. I would just leave them in my general Palm Street shop, and people would say they still couldn't buy them. So I'm not really sure how to make that easier so you can pin everything at once. Well, I'm just going to start pinning stuff. How's that sound? Crested Diets are pinned. Pin some bee pollen. Let's pin the Blue River. If there's something you guys want, there's a pin all button. Where's the pin all button? Manage. Enable all purchasable mode. Oh, there we go. Enable for future lives. Perfect. All listings during this live and future lives can be purchased without being pinned. All right. Tell me now. I think I fixed it. Can you see all the products in the shop? There should be like 70 of them. I put everything I have in there. Let me know if you can see all the products in the shop. Yes, everybody says perfect. Thank you guys. As you can see, I'm still learning as well. I appreciate you helping me walk through to solve these problems. Perfect. We got it going. Now we're going to do a gecko auction. I got 5 geckos to auction while we're hanging out chatting today. Let's go ahead and have a look at that first one, shall we? Let's see what we've got here. Our first gecko auction. Oh no. Oh no, my thingy closed. Open a new tab. May, not April, May. We're in May. Auction number 1. We got a female 32-gram extreme harlequin girl. Why are you so small? Awesome. So this is our first auction girl. Should I just start her off? Or are we going to go ahead and get her started? On dry goods, yes. So everything in the dry goods shop, that's the price with free shipping. I don't charge shipping on Palm Street. Dry goods and geckos all ship for free. Awesome. You guys are the best. Were those pictures of my girl before you got to this folder? Probably. Yeah, they probably were. I think I had your one in there. Awesome. Let's start an auction, shall we? So this girl, if I do remember, was 32 grams. Correct. 32-gram female extreme harlequin. I love the structure on this girl. Look at those crests and that head. Let's go ahead. Starting at $60. Free shipping on all my auctions as well. She's up right now. So I love this girl mostly for her structure. As you can see, like I said, look at the size of her head, how perfect those crests are, the white highlighter along the crest. I absolutely love it. That's the kind of structure that I like best. I'm not a huge fan. I am a huge fan of the really big heads that like are big floppy crests. I love that. But I love this more, a perfectly diamond-shaped head, nice long crest, good structure, nice pattern down the sides as well, kind of a low-grade tricolor. She's got that dark brown base color, the orange harlequin markings, and the white over the top as well. 32 grams on this girl. I do believe she is spot-free. I hesitate always to guarantee 100% something is spot-free, but I am pretty sure this girl is. spot free if you're looking for it. She does have that white spot drippy dorsal trait, like you can see a couple of them there. Real low expression, but she's got it in there as well. We got her sitting at $90. And don't forget, these are free shipping. So that's $90 shipped for this girl, sitting at 32 grams. Let's zoom back in on her structure because I just love it. Just love it. Perfect structure. Great color. Wow, I got a lot happening in the chat. Free shipping on geckos. Yes, there is no shipping on anything on Palm Street for me. Dry goods and geckos all ship for free. Gecko people in black, asking for those of us who can't wear white. I've had so many questions for people to get this shirt in black. The next time I do a print run of shirts, I might do this one in black. I have these in shirts and hoodies. They're both white. I thought it looked better on white. Every other shirt I have is black. Not every other shirt, but a lot of the shirts I have is black. I thought this one looked good on white. I think the next time I do a print run, I might do black ones. We'll see. Yeah, no Dow spots on this girl that I am aware of. I think that's going to be the end of the auction. $100 shipped on this girl. Crested Gecko Syndicate, a very familiar name here at the auction. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. What a deal. I love it. Let's do some deals here on Palm Street. Let me bring back up my video here for you guys. All right. Perfect. Our first auction. I appreciate you guys. Can we arrange them delivered to our house or FedEx hub shut down? Yes. I prefer to ship to hubs if possible, but if it's not possible, I will ship directly to your house. Not a problem. Not a problem. All right, lots of people want these in black. I hear you. So somebody asked, what does spot free mean? That just means the gecko doesn't have any Dalmatian spots. Some people prefer geckos that don't have any Dalmatian spots. So I usually try and tell you if there aren't any on there in case that's what you're looking for. I have too many kids and pets for white. I feel that. I get Gecko Diet. I'll wear these when I feed, and I get Gecko Diet on them. I've stained several of them already with Gecko Diet. All right, so let's talk about foods. Let's get back into foods a little bit. So what do I look for in a good food? The main thing that I look for is the first ingredient in whatever food you're feeding needs to be dried fruit. It sounds simple, but you would not believe that there probably still are. I don't use them. There definitely were in the past Gecko Diets whose first ingredient was dried cornmeal. That's the first ingredient in most dog foods that people tell you don't feed your dogs because it's terrible for them. Like, geckos do not eat corn. The first ingredient should not be dried cornmeal. The first ingredient, that is the first thing I look for when I'm trying to decide, is this food a good one for my geckos? The first ingredient should be dried fruit. For example, Rapashi banana cream pie, the first ingredient is dried bananas. Lugardi, first ingredient is dried watermelon. Pangea, first ingredient, fruit blend, apricot powder, banana flake. Rapashi, first ingredient, dried banana. All of them. Where's my Blue River Diet? Did I drop here? Oh, it's right here. Blue River Diet, first ingredient, pineapple powder. The first ingredient in your gecko diet needs to be dried fruit. If it is anything else, you probably shouldn't feed it to your geckos. That is the first thing I look for when I'm trying to decide what is a good diet. For those of you that don't know, ingredients are listed from most common ingredient to least common. Like when you read a list of ingredients, the first ingredient is the most common one. It needs to be dried fruit. If it's not, that's not a good food for your gecko. Steer clear of it at all costs. The other things that I look for, one of them is protein source. There's a lot of different ways to get protein into your gecko diets. Gecko diets can have varying amounts of protein for various reasons, for a lot of different reasons. For me, I find I get the best feeding response when I have geckos, when I have gecko diets, when the main protein source is either whey protein or protein from eggs. Pea protein and soy protein are also very commonly used, and insect protein is a huge plus. So those are the things I look for with the protein source. Insect protein is not a must. There's lots of diets like this. Pangea apricot is one of my favorite diets. It gets one of the best feeding responses. It does not have insect protein in it. I still love it. I feed a lot of diets that do have insect. The Lugardi diets famously promote, they are 60% fruit, 20% insect protein. They're great diets. They do really well. I prefer to feed in higher insect protein content to both breeding females and younger geckos. Younger geckos grow faster and need a higher protein content. It's important for them. That's why I have my packages, like my breeder formula that I put together. I have a juvie formula that has higher insect protein. I've got an insect refuser formula that has a really high protein level, really high insect protein level, with some additions and mix-ins that make it more palatable for those geckos that won't eat insects. Insect protein is a huge plus, but it does not have to be in every single diet that you feed off. All right, I've been talking a lot. I'm going to check out the chat. I want to be interactive. I want to talk to you guys. I don't have a whole lot of you see this? It's empty here. You guys are my gecko friends. Let's chat about geckos. I'm way behind, but let's catch up. Big name stores still have diets like that, sadly. Yeah. So another thing to look for in a good diet, it also shouldn't be just fruit. A long time ago, there were they call them jelly pots that were really popular, that were just like gelatin fruit, basically. They had no nutritional value, no protein, no anything. They're just like jelly, essentially. Those aren't good for your geckos either. Like, the first ingredient needs to be fruit, but that should not be the only ingredient. Your geckos can't eat just fruit. Baby food. Famously, geckos for years were raised on baby food because it was the closest thing we could get before there were commercially available diets. Do not feed your geckos baby food. They will eat it, they will love it, and then they will get very sick and have a very sad life. Baby food does not have all of the vitamins, the nutrients, everything that your geckos need to thrive. It's just not an adequate diet. So don't feed baby food. Don't feed things that are just fruit. And don't feed anything that has corn bran in it. I don't know. You'd be amazed how sad I was when I looked at that and went, corn bran? Really? What are you guys doing? All right. New to geckos, what is beeswax used for? I assume you mean bee pollen. Tara asked, why do people add bee pollen? So I like to add bee pollen because it makes the food, it makes it a little more fragrant and it makes it a little more palatable. Bee pollen is incredibly healthy. I don't know, again, I'm not a food scientist. I don't know how much value health-wise the geckos get out of adding bee pollen. I've noticed it just seems to make the food a little more fragrant and a little more palatable. The geckos have a bit stronger of an appetite if you add some in there. I wouldn't add very much in there. It doesn't take a whole lot, but adding a little bit in can have some benefits and can increase their appetite, in my experience. How much bee pollen do you add? How long does your bee pollen usually last for one gecko? So I have, like on my packages I put together here, it's 10 grams of bee pollen. You can see the bag. It's not very much compared to how much food in here. This is 8, 10, 12, 14 ounces of food and 10 grams of bee pollen. That's about how much I mix in. You could go a slightly higher ratio than that. Everybody's kind of got a different answer. People find things that work for them a little bit differently than other people, but that's about the ratio that I look for. Tara says, my geckos seem healthy and eat well without it. I agree. Mine have for years. I don't think it's necessary. A lot of brands of foods have bee pollen mixed in already, so it's definitely not necessary. It's just a nice additive that a lot of people like. That being said, if your geckos eat fine without it, for anybody, if your geckos are eating just fine without adding bee pollen, I certainly am not going to sit here and tell you you need to spend more money on bee pollen, otherwise your geckos, are missing out or something. Like, not the case at all. If the diets as is work fine, they're made to work as is. Like, they're good, solid diets. There's no reason to add extra stuff to them if it's working for you. Do you have any pixels in your project? What about adding dried mealworm powder to diets? Pixels, not intentionally. I'll put the answer at that, not intentionally. Mealworm powder, I think, is pretty good. I've fed mealworms to my geckos before. I quit using that as my main insect source because I wasn't happy with the results, but as an ingredient, as a portion of their diet, I think it can be very helpful, yes. What flavors of Guardian Blue River do you recommend for gecko who's only had Rapaceae and Pangea? All right, so I want to do another gecko auction. I had honey and half a banana every time. Yeah, adding a half a banana, I'll do a whole blender full. I know, I'm jumping around all over. I do a whole blender of diet at a time, and every once in a while I'll throw a banana in there just for extra sweetness to entice the geckos, give them a little bit of a treat. You don't want to do that all the time, but every once in a while I'll do that as well. All right, let's do another gecko auction here, all right? Let's auction another gecko off. Let me pull up our next one. Let's see what else we got here. Gecko number 2 for the day. This is a male 23-gram lavender harlequin boy. This is our next auction. Take a look at him. Have a look while I get him started up here. 23-gram boy, starting at $60. Free shipping, as is always the case. I did see I have an Axanthic in the for sale section. That was actually a private sale for somebody. It was like a partial payment on a private sale. I should probably take that one out. That one's not supposed to be there. That was a private sale for someone else that we were into a payment through Palm Street. Gecko auction. That's why that Axanthic was in the shop. No Axanthics up for auction today, but I do have this lavender boy for you now. Let's zoom in on this guy. Give me a better view here. Again, kind of the same as that last female. I love that structure. Those long crests, nice diamond-shaped head. Look how big his eyelashes are. I love how long those are. Beautiful structure. I also love that lavender base color, that almost gunmetal steel gray base color. Beautiful pattern underneath. Not the most pattern ever on an extreme harlequin. The main thing I would look at with this guy is indeed that structure. Again, beautiful. Those long crests all the way down past the neck. Gorgeous looking boy. Nice lavender base color. He comes with free shipping as well. Everything. You guys know, I'm like a broken record. Everything comes with free shipping. The geckos, the diet, the shirts, everything I've got has free shipping, including this guy up for auction now. He's sitting at $90 with free shipping. That's a good deal. DT2 asks, any similar Axanthics? That one is gorgeous. Yes, I have a big, huge summer blowout sale coming with a lot of it. I've been holding back some of my best Axanthics for the summer blowout sale. So there's a bunch coming with deals, discounts, fun games, a Palm Street auction. It's all happening. The last 10 seconds of the gecko auction here, $95, Crested Gecko Syndicate is going to win a second of the day. 95 shipped on this guy. Look at that. 2 for 2 for Crested Gecko Syndicate. Thank you. The size boxes I have shipped to that person, you guys wouldn't believe if I told you. Do you prefer dubias or crickets for feeders? Yes. Let me explain. I feed crickets. I have too many geckos for dubias to be a realistic possibility. I would need an enormous colony. I feed 15 to 20,000 crickets a week. The size dubia colony I would need to maintain that is ridiculous. The work it would take to not only maintain it, sort it, feed them off. Also, dubias for me don't work because I don't want to do dishes. Dubias need to be fed in a bowl or a dish. And with more than 2,000 individual cages, I can't, that's a lot of dishes. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of maintenance. It's a lot of things to clean. It just doesn't work. When you throw crickets in, I just throw crickets in their enclosure and the geckos eat them as they run around. Dubia don't run around. They'll hide under something and then they don't move for weeks at a time, and you'll end up with a cage with a whole bunch of dubia in it that the gecko hasn't eaten because geckos eat things that move and the dubias don't move. So health benefit wise, I think dubia are a superior feeder insect to crickets, but I don't feed them because it just doesn't work for my collection. But if it does work for yours, I do highly recommend dubia. All right. People are confused. How many ounces is in the bee pollen packet? Can you hold up the packet on its own? I don't have one on its own. The best I can do, the only one I have sitting here is this one. So it's 10 grams. So this is a 2-ounce bag of diet. This is a 10-gram bag of bee pollen, to give you an idea on the size. So that's a 2-ounce bag of diet, 10 grams of bee pollen. So I don't mix a lot of bee pollen in. I just do a little bit. All right. How many Axanthic do I have? I honestly don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I know how many geckos, roughly how many geckos I have, but not how many Axanthics I have. Brian, check your text. Free product on behalf of Lugardi for anyone who purchases Lugardi Diets. Sweet. Free product on behalf of Lugardi for anyone who purchases Lugardi Gecko Diets. Check my text. I can't check my text on my phone because it's running my palm, but I will check it as soon as I'm off. Absolutely. Natural state serpents. Tell me more info in the chat because I can't look at my phone. But is that for people like in the chat? those of you who are buying the Lugardi diet, because if that's the case, go buy them up and I'll figure out what they mean to get you guys some free diets. Question, what do you use to catch and spread the crickets in so many enclosures? How many do you place in each enclosure? So I recently, at Flora Fauna Show, I was talking to Parkour Geckos when we were chatting at the beginning of this chat about their cricket feeder. They gave me one to try out. Actually, I bought 2 of them from them to try out. I used that, and I think if you look up Parkour Geckos on Instagram and look at his cricket feeders, he 3D prints this like automatic cricket feeder thing. They actually work pretty good. It was quicker than me doing them by hand, and I usually do between 3 and 5 crickets per gecko once a week for the feeding schedule. All right. How big is your collection? About 4,000 animals. Usually got about 4,000 animals at any one time. When is your summer blowout sale going to be? Either June 13th or June 20th, depending on how quick I get everything up, how much ad lead up I want to do. I'm not sure on the exact date yet. Follow me on Instagram. I'll give you an exact date. I got some fun ideas for the summer blowout sale this year. All right, so next up, getting back to food, I want to talk about my favorite flavors from each brand. So I picked out my top 2 favorite flavors. Let me put my video back up. We sold this guy off. We love you, but it's time for you to go. All right. So I got my top 2 flavors from each brand that I want to share with you guys here today. I feed basically every flavor from every brand, but these are the 2 from each brand that I like best. So from Pangea, I like the apricot. This one has whole egg protein instead of just egg whites. It is smooth, like the consistency is very smooth, and I do think that makes a difference to the geckos. The texture seems to make a difference to them, and it does not have insect protein, but it gets the best feeding response from the Pangea diets that I've experienced. The fig and insects is also a favorite of mine. This is my staple for my insect-based diets for a lot of the time. This seems to get a really good feeding response for an insect protein diet. Historically, insect protein diets get a slightly less feeding response than ones that don't have insects. This one does great feeding response-wise. Repashy diets. I love the classic blend Repashy diet. This was their first gen original blend. I love this one. It gets a good feeding response for me. For Repashy, I also like the banana cream pie. This is huge for me. Now, to be clear, the banana cream pie is not a complete diet. You can't just feed this to your geckos. It is a treat diet, it's considered. I love the banana cream pie as an additive to mix into a lot of other diets. For example, if you have one with insect protein that is really good for your geckos, but they don't eat a whole lot of it, mix in about 3 parts insect protein diet and 1 part like 25% banana cream pie. It does wonders to boosting their feeding response to different diets. Love the Repashy banana cream pie. For Blue River, I love the Blue River diets, especially the pineapple crush. This has been my favorite of the Blue River diets. It's the feeding response I get the best out of. That's my favorite. It's the pineapple crush, and I have just recently tried, they have a limited edition dragon fruit that I get a good feeding response out of as well. I also get a really good feeding response out of the Lugardi dragon fruit one. So I was excited to try the Blue River when it came out, and I've had great results with the Blue River dragon fruit flavor as well. And then finally with the Lugardi diets, I just said it, the dragon fruit flavor is a staple. My geckos love this one, but my favorite is the blueberry of the Lugardi. This is my favorite, the strongest feeding response of the blueberry for the Lugardi diets. That's the one I always recommend when people are asking. So somebody was asking if you're looking to go to a Blue River and they've only fed Repashy or Pangea in the past, I would definitely do the pineapple or the dragon fruit. Or the watermelon is really good too. And if you're feeding the watermelon Pangea, that might be a good transition over to the Blue River as well. They have a lot of options. So any of them you really can't go wrong with, but the pineapple was really my favorite for those. All right. Let's see. Natural State Servant says, free gecko diet, squeeze bottle or 6-pack gecko food dish, any color for anyone who purchases Lugardi Gecko from you during this live. Awesome. Awesome. So everybody, we were just told in the chat, you get a free Gecko food squeeze bottle or 6-pack of Gecko food dishes, any color, for anyone who purchases Lugardi Diets during this live. So if you're thinking about picking up a Lugardi Diet, you got a little incentive. You get a little free treat as well. So I'll make sure that gets taken care of. If you guys are interested in Lugardi Diet, thank you so much for throwing that little giveaway in there. I love seeing all the love and questions for parkour geckos as well. I hope you guys can try out his cricket feeders and see what you think. I've only tried it once since I got home from Flora Fauna with it, but I did like it. Free shipping on dry goods tonight. Yes, free shipping on dry goods as well. I always do free shipping on everything here on Palm Street. Dry goods, foods, diets, caging, merch. I also have an add-on in my shop. If you buy any t-shirt, hoodie, any piece of clothing, you can add on a randomly selected bag of diet, a small bag for only $1. So if you like my geckos are better than people shirt, even though it's not in black, I know, I hear you guys, I hear you. You can pick up one of these, do that add-on for $1, and I will pick out any small bag of diet, whatever one I decide you're getting that day, and you'll get a bag of food for $1 as well. So I got that little add-on deal going up also for you. Any yellow bases going up for auction tonight? I don't think so. I don't think I have any yellow bases going up, no. Acres Exotics, my cricket feeders just came in today from them. Also, Parkour Geckos, I followed so I can attend your live. Perfect. Go follow Parkour Geckos. Let's get those cricket feeders out there. Is dry goods free? Yes, shipping on dry goods is free. I also purchased a t-shirt but didn't know about that. So you can go, if you already purchased a t-shirt tonight, you can just go add that add-on right now. You don't have to buy them at the same time. If you already bought a shirt, go throw that add-on on there and you can take advantage of it for sure. They've got to be shipped together. So if you bought a shirt like 2 weeks ago, you don't get it. But if you're buying one tonight, you can definitely throw that on there. Yeah. Any Try Girls that will be ready age-wise for this season. So let's see what our next auction is, shall we? We got 2 more auctions. We have 3 more auctions to throw up for you guys. Let's do this one next. Yeah, we're going to do this boy. So this Extreme Harlequin boy is going to be my next auction. This guy is, what do we have him at? Let's see. 32 grams on this guy. 32 gram, very dark, high contrast, Extreme Harley boy. Let's start him off right now. $60 start. Ooh, he's only a 30-second auction. I did the wrong time. So bid quick. His auction's going fast. Free shipping, 30-second auction. This Extreme Harlequin boy. Good structure as well on this guy. Again, those long crests I absolutely love. Nice pinning all the way down the back. Good pattern coverage, and I love his dark base color and the contrast. We're already down under 10 seconds. This one was a quick auction. I didn't reset the timer to 2 minutes, and that's okay. We're going to roll with it. Look at that color and pattern contrast there. Let's zoom in on that. 5 seconds left. HVAC Pro, Crested Gecko Love. I love when you get that high contrast on the pattern. It pops. It's so bright. It's beautiful. This boy is our next auction. He's going. Let's see what it's going to do. 95. And again, free shipping, guys. You guys know it. Free shipping on all gecko diets, foods, auctions, everything. There's no shipping on Palm Street for me. Any shirt. Yes, any shirt. You can get that dollar bag add-on with any shirt you would like. What's the best Brian's mix for a collection of all ages, species, and new cows? New Cow Cafe wins the auction at $100 with free shipping. Thank you so much. The best Brian's mix for a collection of all ages, species of new cows. I would probably do the Juvie mix. It's pretty high, especially about other new cows like lychees and gargs that tend to be a bit more predatory. The Juvie mix is high in insect protein. I mixed it, I blended it that way. Well, I don't blend it, you get it and you blend it. But it's higher in insect protein, specifically for younger growing geckos that need a higher protein content. So especially if you're doing other new cows that are a bit more on the predatory side, that would probably be my recommendation for that one. Awesome. We got a lot of stuff going on here. I appreciate you guys. How do the different complete diets stack up against one another? I've always been told to stick to Pangea. So the four that I'm showing you guys tonight, that's why I've only got these four. There's other brands out there. There are other good brands out there. I'm showing you the four that I both sell, and the reason I sell them is because I use them for my own animals. I'm not going to sell something I don't use, and I'm not going to use something that's not good for my animals. So Repashy, good. Pangea, obviously good. Blue River Diet, very good. And the Lugardi is also good as well. So any of those four, I would highly recommend. I actually don't get me wrong, I love Pangea. I love the brand. I love their foods. I love the guys that work there. I love Pangea. But I would recommend mixing it up. I like to give my geckos a variety. I think it's good for them to mix the flavor up, to mix the contents of the diet up, to blend different ones together to give them even new flavors. I wouldn't want to eat the same thing every day, and I do find I get a better feeding response out of my geckos if we do mix those flavors up as we go through as well. All right. Whoops, guess you'll have to do more geckos. White Tank Andrew's in the house. What's up, Andrew? I'm probably way behind in the chat, but I love you guys. All right, we're going to do another auction. I got two more geckos to auction off. We're going to jump right into another one here. Let's go into this girl. So this is a Phantom Pinstripe girl at 29 grams. So this girl is not related to my charcoal line. She does not have that charcoal gene. Charcoal's like a hypermelanistic gene. This girl doesn't have it. She's just a traditional Phantom Pinstripe. Let me pull her auction up and we'll get her started. Have a little talk about her because I love Phantoms. I love them. I'm going to make sure I actually made this girl a 2-minute auction, not a 30-second one. Let's do it. Starting bid $60, comes with free shipping. Phantom Pinstripe female, sitting at 29 grams. This is why I love Phantoms. You can see exactly where, like that should be cream, that should be cream, exactly where all the Harlequin pattern, even the dorsal line, what should be cream colored on this gecko, but that Phantom gene deletes the cream from the Harlequin gene. It doesn't delete Harlequin altogether because you can still see where the pattern is. It's just not cream colored. It's not enhanced with those white cream colors. Even her head, look at the cool head stamp where you can see where her head would be white here and white here with a dark head stamp, except she's a Phantom. So it looks a little bit different when that Phantom gene deletes the white cream out of there. I love Phantoms. I think they're one of the coolest looking geckos, one of the most fun genes to breed into stuff. Phantom Super Stripes and empty backs are awesome. Phantom Lily Whites are among my favorite geckos in the world. And then you add more combos on top of that. Phantom Lily White Axanthics are next level incredible. Phantom Frappuccinos are ridiculous. Phantom is one of the coolest genes to work with. So if you're looking to add it into your project, this girl is up for auction. Highest bid right now is $140. That's with free shipping. Now, shipping is normally $60. So essentially, that's a heck of a deal for a female. Sitting at 29 grams, this girl is $140 with free shipping. What more from the last gecko? So the one before this was an extreme Harlequin boy. This girl's a Phantom Pinstripe. Do y'all do different flavors every day or weekly? So it's usually weekly, not every day. It's usually weekly I do different flavors. Phantoms are cool to mix into your project. Yep, I agree. There are so many cool combos you can do with Phantoms. I'm really liking Phantom empty backs lately. They're so subtle, but you still get that empty back look. I absolutely love it. 170 is the high bid on this girl, coming down to the end of it here. Ooh, we got a couple more bids in. I'm liking it. Cheers to the bidders. Yeah, I know. I'm drinking coffee. It's like 5 o'clock in the evening. It's only 5 o'clock where I'm at. If you're on the East Coast and you're like 7 at night, Brian's drinking coffee. It's only 5 here, okay? Still a poor choice. I grant you, still a poor choice. We got a winner at 200 on the female. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Glad I tuned in. I'm almost out of food for the babies. Well, I'm glad you're here as well. And don't forget, Lugardi, you get a free gecko food squeeze bottle or a free 6-pack of Lugardi gecko food dishes if you buy Lugardi Diet during this live right now. Lugardi is taking care of that for us, and I appreciate it. Hey Brian, I'm new to Crested Geckos and I had a question about charcoals. Are they a dark line of phantom or its own gene in complete dominance? So it is its own gene. There's a lot of misinformation out there about charcoals just being like darker line bred phantoms. It's a hypermelanistic gene. Um, so yeah, it is its own standalone gene, like a hypermelanistic. They overproduce melanin. I actually have one. I just took its pictures last night. It's like a red charcoal, so it's essentially a red phantom, but with that hypermelanistic gene. So it's a really dark, almost maroon red. Really cool looking animal. It's going to be in my summer blowout sale, so keep an eye out for it. I drink energy drinks all day, about 6 a day. Brittany, Godspeed, because damn, I drink 2 cups of coffee a day and I'm like this by the end of the night and I can't sleep. Like, I know I'm going to be up a little bit later, so I'm cool with coffee at 4:45. 6 energy drinks, like I can't do I have a cousin that does that. I'm just looking at her like, homie, calm it down. That's insane. I hope you're okay because I would not be at that level. I'm drinking a Monster at 7 p.m. It's okay. How do you get the food with shirt purchase? So if you purchased a shirt, there's an add-on in the shop. It just says, let me find it for you. I'll show you. So if you search the listing at the top for, so the search bar, wait. Where's it at? Did I run out of them? It's not coming up. Did you guys get me out of them? Gecko Diabolical. Now I can't find it. It should be under add-on purchases. It'll still be there even after the live ends. If you can't find it, shoot me a message and I'll make sure we get you set up with it because it'll still be in my shop after the live end. There's an add-on purchase to add a food bag for $1 if you buy a t-shirt. Don't see it in the shop right now, so if it ran out of stock and disappeared, I'll put more in and make sure everybody gets one. But like I said, it'll still be available after the live end, so no worry there. No worries at all. All right. Who makes Lugardi Diet and what's the best received flavor in your opinion? So Lugardi is the company. They're out of Texas. Lugardi Diets. The blueberry is my favorite of the Lugardi flavors. That's what I get the best feeding response on from them. They've got a couple new flavors I don't have up in the shop as well. They've got a strawberry banana and another one. Actually just got a shipment in with those a couple days ago, so I haven't added them to the shop yet. But I'm excited to test those flavors out. I don't doubt that they're going to do good because all the other Lugardi Diets have, but we'll try them out. And they will be in the shop soon. Y'all, Brian's geckos are the best. Got my first Cresty from him and been in love ever since. I love that. I appreciate it. Same. Our first gecko was from AE. You guys are amazing. ADHD brains, man. We do things different with caffeine. Oh, you guys are awesome. Sweet Lady Adventure Stacy says, I love my mushroom t-shirt. Buy it. I love it. Thank you. I can drink 2 Red Bulls and take a nap. I can't do that, but you know what I can do? I can fall asleep on a plane after drinking all the coffee you can give me. You put me on an airplane, I don't care what you've done to me. I'm going to pass out. I am going to pass out. All right, so I got one more auction and a few more things about Gecko Diet I want to talk to you guys about. For one, I want to talk about food bottles. I use these to make it easy. I've got a small and a large. These are both available in my shop. Also, if you buy Lugardi Diet, you can get one of these free from Lugardi today only during the live. But I've got these in my shop. I use these to both mix and feed my diet. Well, I use a big blender to mix my diet, but if I just need a little bit, I'll throw it in here. Sometimes it's helpful to throw a marble in here because when you fill it with Gecko Diet and water and then shake it up, it gets kind of clumpy and you have to shake it really hard for a long time to get it to blend. Get a marble or like a die, take a die out of a board game or something and throw it in there and shake it up with it. It helps a ton with getting the Gecko Diet to blend. I have both of those available in the shop. And then just a quick feeding tip. I'm going to do a whole live sometime about like how to prepare Gecko Diet, how to feed, how to set a regimen. So I'm not going to get super deep into it, but I did want to show you guys. I also have these in my shop. Contact lens cases. I buy these in bulk and use them to feed babies. I take the caps off and you have food and water dishes from the caps, as well as a perfect food and water dish for baby geckos. I use these up until about 10 grams for the geckos. They work so good and it's so easy to get a bunch of these. I have a whole washing machine because I go through like thousands of them. I'll throw them all in a washing machine and wash them up. They're easy to wash by hand. I'll even use a toothbrush if I'm just washing a couple of them by hand. You can get smaller portable washing machines that make it easy to wash them. Pro tip, if you've got more than like a few geckos, get some contact lens cases. I've got them in the shop if you guys want to grab a few. I think I've got 6 packs and 20 packs available as well. Just to make an easy tip for easy feeding, contact lens cases work so good. Works so good. Awesome. Awesome. We got one more. What type of soap to use? I got one more auction to run. I see you asking, what type of soap do I use? I just use antibacterial dish soap, usually Dawn, sometimes another brand, but I always get antibacterial dish soap. Good wash and a really good rinse. So like when I throw these in my washing machine, I'll do like a deep cycle wash with antibacterial dish soap in there. And then I do like a triple rinse. I set it on like a triple rinse cycle just to make sure they get rinsed off really, really well. How do you prevent bugs from getting stuck in the spout of the bottle? For like these ones, like the food bottles, I don't feed insects out of these, obviously. If you blend the food up well enough, they don't get stuck. Sometimes I will cut the tip off. I'll cut it down like 2 millimeters, and it just makes the opening a little bit bigger if you're having trouble with food getting stuck in those. Just cut like the top 2 or 3 millimeters off the spout, and it comes out a bit easier. All right, what else do we got in the chat? Do you have geckos that are picky with the thickness? Yes. So I find most of my geckos do better if the diet is ketchup consistency. I don't like to go thicker than that because the geckos tend not to eat it. If it's too thick, the geckos don't like to eat it. If it's too thin, they will eat it, but then it's watered down food, and obviously the nutritional content's going to go down because the food's really watered down. The geckos are going to be hydrated, but they're not actually getting a whole lot of food out of that food because it's so watered down. So I usually shoot for like ketchup consistently, not too thick. And it's also, when you first mix it up, it should be a little bit more watery than ketchup, because as the food sits there, it will thicken up. So that's what I shoot for, is when you first mix the diet, it should be slightly more watery than ketchup, almost like a milkshake, not like a shake, like a true milkshake, and then it will thicken just a little bit as it sits. I use warm water, it helps. Yes, I use hot water. When I'm mixing food up, I use hot water to mix it up. It cools off really fast. I've had people ask, like, aren't the geckos gonna burn their tongues? No, like as soon as you put it into a food dish and let it sit, like within a minute, it's cooled down to the point like it's not going to hurt the geckos or anything. So I use hot water to mix up food. It definitely does make it mix up a lot better. All right, what are my thoughts on Vitameal? I have not tried Vitameal yet. I need to get some of it in and try it. It is one that I have not tried myself yet. So I've heard really good things, but I haven't tried it myself, so I'm not going to give it a full endorsement. I gotta test it for myself first. Somebody said if you had dried bugs, get a coffee grinder. That's what I do. That's a great idea. Magic Bullet takes care of those bugs. So if you're adding dried bugs into your diets, they're saying use a coffee. My computer turned off. Hey now. We need pictures of geckos in the background, computer. I know you can't see my face. Can you please? Can I just put in my password, please? Oh my goodness, there we go. Let's look at the gecko again. Yeah, so it's a coffee grinder if you mixed in dried bugs. I don't do that. I haven't done that in a long time, but that's a good tip. Dubia roach powder works well. Yeah, that's good. That's a good tip too. I've been supplementing Vitameal with Lugardi, and my geckos have been crushing it lately. Awesome. I'll have to try that when I get some Vitameal in. I use tap water. I was told distilled. Yes, I use tap water for everything. I know a lot of people talk about like using water conditioner or distilled water. I live in an area that we have really good tap water. We have quality tap water. I've been using it for, how long have I been doing this? 17 years. It works well for me. I'm certainly not ever going to tell somebody that using a water conditioner or using distilled water is bad, but it is certainly not what I do. I forgot to ask at Flora Fauna about how do you get your xanthics so dark? You breed darker geckos. So adding hypo into them or soft scale helps a lot. It's the difference between like a brownish harlequin versus a black harlequin. Start with those hypo dark black base color geckos to create het xanthics, and then breed those back in, and that dark base color shows up in the xanthics. You get really dark ones. That makes it sound really easy, but that's essentially the steps for it. Do you ever mix different brands together? Yes, I do. More often than not, actually, I do. Sometimes I'll feed one brand. Sometimes I'll feed several flavors of one brand together. Sometimes I'll mix several brands together. Sometimes I'll just feed one lone flavor by itself. I like to keep it very, very varied and do a lot of different things. All right, let's get our last auction going. I got one more auction for you guys today. One more gecko auction. Let's do it. Let's do it. We've got this guy, a lavender lily white. Let's pull up his auction, shall we? We're going to start him off. Are you ready to start him? Let's do it. Lavender lily white boy. So this guy is, let me check. 33 grams this guy is. 33 grams on this boy, lavender lily white. So this is as dark as I could get him fired up. I won't guarantee you he doesn't get any darker than this, but this is as dark as I could get him. I think he's a soft scale. Soft scale doesn't affect the price to a level. I see a free shipping comment. Yes, free shipping on this guy as well. Soft scale doesn't really affect the price to the level that I'm going to be real picky about making sure I label every soft scale. Especially because it's so hard to identify. So you guys will hear me all the time tell you, unless I'm 100% sure, I think it's a soft scale. I would rather let you decide when you get it. I'm just going to give you the information that I have. So yes, I think this boy's a soft scale, lavender lily white. I really like these low pattern coverage lily whites. I think it's a cool look. I really do. Breeding this guy with a phantom would also be amazing. If you got, imagine all of this cream color is gone, and this white right here is the only color left on this gecko. I think that would be pretty incredible. If it were me, I would try and breed this guy into a phantom. Beautiful lavender lily white guy. Like I said, I don't think he gets any darker than this. I certainly couldn't get him fired up any more than this. Beautiful gecko. Basic lavender lily white. Like I said, if people always ask, what would you breed it with? I really think I would breed this guy into a phantom. I think this dude in a phantom form would be really awesome. Awesome. Stocking up again, gotten some Lugardi diets. I'm currently using your insect refuser mix. Is it working for you? Is it good? Do you get a good feeding response? I would love feedback on it. Let me know. Live shipping is free. No shipping on anything here at Altitude Exotics on Palm Street. The Altitude Exotics Palm Street channel is anti-shipping fees. That is my official stance, and I will not be changing it. No shipping on this gecko. I think that might have ended it at $120 with free shipping for a lily white male. My goodness. Today's the day of the deals of all deals. Such a steal. I'm glad I saved that guy for the end. It ended on such a good deal. Incredible. You guys are amazing. Thank you all so very much. A big cheers and a thank you. I just spilled coffee all over myself. A big cheers and thank you to everybody today, whether you bought something, whether you bid on an auction, won an auction, bought Gecko Diets, hung out, commented in the live chat, whatever it is. Even if you just sat here and lurked and watched and didn't interact at all, I'm so glad you're here. I love you guys. I love everything about this. I'm going to check the chat one more time, and then we're going to get out of here soon. What is the difference between all the diets? There's small differences in composition, in ingredients, and makeup. The reason I promote the diets that I have is because the differences aren't so great that it really makes a difference. Like, they're all good diets. They all provide all the nutrition that your geckos need. They're all complete diets that your geckos can feed on, and they're all quality diets that I feed to my own animals. So that's why I'm promoting the ones that I am. Again, that's Lugardi, Blue River, Pangea, and Rapashi. Those are the 4 brands I feed to my animals. There are other good brands out there. I'm not telling you there is no other diet that's worth feeding. I'm just not going to sit up here and promote a diet that I don't feed to my own animals. So I'm sticking to what I know. I don't know if you saw, but I asked what are your ways to make lavender crested. So the lavender ones like this that don't really fire up, it's usually has that hypogene. The hypogene just kind of, think of it like a color enhancer. It strips out dirty pigment, and when you add that to a lighter base gecko, you get these light lavenders that don't fire up. When you add it to a gecko with a darker base color, then they do fire up, but it's like jet black versus being brown. So the idea is just get lighter base color geckos and add on that hypogene if you can. I just bought a shirt, but unable to see a choice to get a diet food. So there should be, if you go, once we get out of the chat, I'm going to make sure it's in stock. Once we get out of the live, go to my shop here on Palm Street, and there'll be an add-on purchase for a free bag of diet for $1 if you bought a shirt. So it has to be a shirt you bought today. They have to ship together, and then I'll just randomly select what bag of diet you're going to get, but you get it for $1 if you buy a piece of merch. So like I said, once you get out of the live, just go to my shop here on Palm Street. There'll be an add-on purchase for that you can add on to there. And it's not going to go away. It's good forever. If you have any problems with it, shoot me a message. We are going to make sure I get everybody set up. No problems at all. All right. Please do more sessions like this. Yes, so that's where I'm going to. Another comment too. It just disappeared. I don't know. Great job, Brian. Innovative and interesting vanguard effort for our hobby. So please do more sessions like this. So that's where we're going to end it today. This is episode 1. Like, I'm going to keep track of these, and I'm hoping to get to where I can do these once a week. I'm going to start with once every 2 weeks, and we're going to do a lot of stuff. I want to do more informational live chats. I love the interactive aspect. I want to talk about what I do, how I take care of my animals with you guys. I want to do more educational content. I also want to do breeder interviews. I'm going to bring some of my friends, some of the breeders I respect on, and highlight them. Let them show you what they do, their animals, talk about their sales and projects coming up. I also want to do games. I want to just come on live for an hour and play. I got ideas for like games and interactive content and just fun, make it more like a show. Like, we're just going to hang out together and do fun gecko things, educational content, breeder interviews. I'm going to come on sometimes and just say, hey, let's talk about my empty back project and show you some of my breeders and how and why I put my breeding groups together. Breeder interviews, industry leader interviews, educational content. I have all kinds of ideas. I'm really hoping to make this a staple of my Palm Street channel, and I can't wait to do it. I can't wait to get into it. I'm going to have some fun with you guys. I appreciate everybody being on here. Bring us new breeders on too. I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to. I just don't want to do just like big name breeders everybody knows. I want to do people that I respect and I care about, that I can bring on and say, show us some of your best geckos. Tell us when your next live is. Tell us when your next sale is. And let's build this community together. I love it. I'm excited for it. I got some big plans moving forward, and I appreciate you guys being here with me. Thank you so much. As always, be safe, be kind to each other. Send me any questions you have. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.